Friends, I'd like to invite you to be seated. Our live stream has started. So we would like to welcome you all to this very special Shabbat of celebration. Every Shabbat is special. Tonight we celebrate with the intimate Beth-El Tzedek family as Sadie Cohen, the daughter of our cantor, Melissa, and Dr. Mark Cohen becomes bat mitzvah in the circle of her beloved grandparents and extended family. Delighted to welcome you to our services. Invite those who are joining us by live stream to take advantage of the website of the congregation, bez613.org, where you can access Shabbat virtual resources to participate in the services. Welcome everybody, whether you're with us in person or joining us virtually. We begin the service by welcoming the angels of peace as we sing Shalom Aleichem. And I see some angels in person here, and some are going to be joining us virtually in a few moments. So on page 13 of the Kol HaNeshama prayer book, let us join with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi HaSharet, Malachi Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi
Usher Shabbat in with song. We also welcome Shabbat with light. It's my pleasure to call on our bat mitzvah, Sadie Cohen, to lead us in the blessing of the Shabbat candles. You may follow on page 5 of the prayer book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, source of light, our God, sovereign of all worlds, who has made us holy with your mitzvot, and commanded us to kindle the Shabbat light. Amen.
Thank you, Sadie. We have two beautiful Cohen voices tonight leading us in prayer. And we continue now with the welcoming of the Shabbat and the words of Psalms, the tradition of Kabbalat Shabbat. On page 25, Psalm 96, please join with the cantor.
La
Shalom. And to further welcome Shabbat into our community, we turn to the words of Psalm 92 on page 49, Mizmor Shir Leyom Shabbat, a psalm, a song for the Sabbath day, page 49.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך העליון, וזמר לשמך העליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך העליון, וזמר לשמך העליון. להגיד בבוקר השנה באמונת בלילות אני אסור ואני אנבל עלי היגיון בפינות מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני וזמר לשמך העליון וזמר לשמך העליון כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך במעשים ידך שבת טוב להודות לאדוני וזמר לשמך העליון וזמר לשמך העליון.
And now we prepare to welcome the presence of Shabbat in our community with the words of Lecha Dodi, beginning on page 41. We continue through page 43, and then I will invite you to rise for the last verse on page 47 to welcome the presence of Shabbat in our community. Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, let us greet the bride, the presence of Shabbat, let us bring inside. Page 41.
שבת נקבלה, לחכה דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לחכה דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לחכה דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שהמות זכור ודיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשימו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי הנה קור הברכה, מראש מכם נסוכה, סוף מחשב ומחשבה תחילה. לקראת קלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצעי שבת מקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בני שי בית הלחמי, קורבן נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה.
Let us rise and face the entrance to welcome the presence of Shabbat.
בואי ושלום עטרת בהלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה.
Now that we have received the Shabbat Shalom in our community, let us exchange greetings with one another and then turn to singing Hine Ma Tovu Manaim, how good and how pleasant it is for family and friends to come together.
Shabbat Shalom.
How good and how pleasant it is for family and friends to come together in unity. How good it is to give thanks to the Eternal, to sing out to God's name supreme, telling of God's kindness in the morning and faithfulness at night time. The call to evening prayer, Baruch Hu, page 57. Please be seated. Let us read together on page 60 as we give thanks for the successions of day and night, the cycles of the seasons and of the years. Page 60 together. Praised are you, God, ruler of the universe, who has ordained the rhythm of life. The day with its light calls to activity and exertion. But when the day wanes, when with the setting of the sun colors fade, we cease from our labors and welcome the tranquility of the night. The subdued light of the moon and stars, the darkness and the stillness about us invite rest and repose. Trustfully we yield to the quiet of sleep, for we know that while we are unaware of what goes on within and around us, our powers of body and mind are renewed. Therefore, at this evening hour, we seek composure of spirit. We give thanks for the day and its tasks, and for the night and its rest. Praised are you, O God, who brings on the evening.
אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
המעריב הרבים.
As we have given thanks for the physical world which we inhabit, we now turn to Ahavat Olam, which give thanks for the spiritual world that inhabits us. Ahavat Olam, page 63.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך לא תסור ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
In words of Torah, we meditate by day and night. Blessed are you, beloved one, beloved of Israel. Before we rise for the Shema this evening, I'd like us to pause to take note of the fact that this prayer that we recite twice daily upon awakening and upon lying down and at the core of our liturgies is to be found in tomorrow's Torah portion. In fact, it is part of the reading that Sadie will be chanting from the Torah scroll. The Shema is in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6. It comes soon after the recitation of the 10 Commandments. Sadie is going to tell us about this important Torah portion tomorrow. But I think it is important to take notice of the Shema, not only because it is the core affirmation of our faith, but because it is also a very pertinent call to our times. I don't have to tell you that we are living through a period of growing polarization and factionalism and divisiveness. We are living at a time when conversation turns into argument and dialogue becomes diatribe, and people talk at cross purposes, and everyone considers his or her position to be the only true position. The Shema is an affirmation of the unity of God, and at the same time an affirmation of the unity of our common humanity. And not only does the prayer in its words express that, but it points in one of its practices that we derive from the Shema to the very idea of compromise. The Shema tells us, inscribe these words on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And that, of course, is the practice of placing mezuzah on our doorpost. The word mezuzah actually means doorpost. So we put a parchment in a case that contains the words that we will soon be chanting, the Shema. And an author whom we all know has written a book called The Shema in the mezuzah, and she happens to be with us tonight. Could you give us a 1-minute synopsis of the Shema in the mezuzah, visiting author?
Well, of course, you can't really get a sense of the book unless you purchase it. But I'll try because it's a really fun story if you've never seen it. So it's based on the tradition about how you put the mezuzah on the door. As you know, it's not horizontal or vertical, right? And it doesn't say in the text how you should put it up. It just says affix it to the doorpost of your house. So how do you put it on? Well, in the Middle Ages, there was a disagreement between Rashi and
His grandson. His grandsons, yeah. Tosafot.
They had a disagreement, and some thought you should put it vertically, and some thought you should put it horizontally, because it says when you rise up, but it also says when you lie down. So they couldn't decide, and they finally decided to compromise. So the reason the mezuzah is slanted is a sign of compromise. So when you walk into your homes and you see the mezuzah, remember, if you're going to live together, you will need to compromise, which seems to make sense. And there are few houses, like state houses, you might put it up one, but other than but the book is a lot of fun because it's a town and where people disagree, and one side says, but it's standing up, and the other side says, but it's lying down, and they argue, and then they ask the rabbi, I don't know, maybe the rabbi knows, and one side says, I think it's standing up, the rabbi goes, yep, you're right, and the other side says, I think it's lying down, the rabbi goes, yep, you're right, and then people say, wait, we can't both be right, and the rabbi says, yep, you're right too. So ultimately, they compromise. It's just a real fun thing because they're told to listen to each other. And in the process of listening, you learn to respect both sides. So it's a wonderful story. So it's not just what the words say, but what it visually symbolizes when you see it on the doorposts of your house and in the synagogue and wherever Jews gather.
Thank you. So the book is illustrated by also a member of our congregation, Joni Keller Rothenberg, and is truly a lesson for children and for adults about the art of compromise. The opening words of the Shema are Shema. It doesn't mean just listen, it means understand. Try to understand the position of one another. And then if you look at the Torah text, the Shema is printed in this way. The last letter of the first word and the last letter of the last word are printed in bigger script. And those two letters spell the Hebrew word ed, which means witness in Hebrew. By affirming the words of the Shema, we become witnesses to the unity of God and to the possibility of compromise that will lead to the unity of humanity. So let us rise and join in affirming the words of the Shema, page 64.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Please be seated. That little Devar Tefillah, that little word, is a good reminder because I have not yet put my mezuzot up on my new home yet, so got to get that done. Although there is still compromise going on in my home. It's mostly just saying, yes, Jenny, you can put that wherever you want.
That's good advice.
Yeah. We continue on page 79 as we sing our song of freedom that Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang as they crossed the sea.
אדוני את יעקב וגלום יד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom ha'amidinu malkeinu l'chaim. Help us to lie down, dear one, our God, in peace, and let us rise again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. And as we ask for divine protection, we ask the source of protection and healing for renewed health for those who are in need. We call upon blessings of health for Shirley Steinman, Larry Baker, Brian Donor, Amy Maurer Martin, Jane Bashir, Aaron Greenwald, Ron Safran, Ariel Shoshana Badester Zelda, Andrew Whitson, Dan Stillerman, Frida Burns, Herb Heller, Dr. Martin Tamler, Sandra Siegel, Freddie Kasif, Carol Tandy, Carl Goodfellow, Chuck Bader, Elliot Nelson, Dee Schwartz, Lila Miller, Bob Diskin, Sarah Bat Miriam, Yonatan Ben Meir, Martin Faust, Dietra Mills, Keith Matters, Lynn Mota, Paul Siegel, Rory Sandberg, Amanda Batya Frank Messenger, Anya Shapiro, Lowell Wolfeld, Paul Orenstein, Tsippi Bat Gittel, Jane Ann Humphreys. We add to those names those whom you are keeping and your memories and praying for healing. You may share at this moment as my glance passes yours. And we out to those all in our community and beyond who are coping with the consequences of the COVID virus and its various manifestations and mutations. As we pray for healing, we join together in our Mishiberach, our prayer that can be found on the back of your Shabbat in leaflet. Guard our going forth each day for life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, compassionate one, who spreads your canopy of peace over all your people Israel, over Jerusalem, and over the entire world. Amen. We continue on page 85. We sing the words of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledonotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledonotam berit olam. B'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Let Israel's descendants keep Shabbat, making Shabbat throughout all of their generations, as an eternal bond. Between me and Israel's descendants shall it be a sign eternally. For in 6 days the fashioner of all made skies and earth, and on the 7th day God ceased and drew a breath of rest. Please rise and turn to page 87 for the Hatzi Kaddish. Yitkada v'yikada shemei Rabba Be'alma divarach hirotei v'amlich malchutei B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chaye dekol bnei Yisrael Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mevarach Le'alam ulam ne'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudasham richu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata
Da'amira Be'alma,
Veimeru. Amen.
We remain standing for the silent Amidah. I'd like to welcome up Evan Cohen to the Bima to open the doors of the Ark. The Amidah can be found on pages 91 through 107. I encourage you to use the traditional words of prayer and the prayers of your own heart during these moments of silent reflection.
God, protect my tongue from evil and my lips from telling lies. May I turn away from evil and do what is good in your sight. Let me be counted among those who seek peace. May my words of prayer and my heart's meditation receive favorably. Beloved one, my rock and my redeemer, may the one who creates harmony above make peace for us and for all Israel, and for all who dwell on earth. And say, Amen. Please be seated. We will be hearing a lot of both Cohen voices this Shabbat, as Rabbi Dennis mentioned, and we'll be hearing a lot about the Shema. As we recited it, we'll hear it read from Torah. And we continue with a creative rendering of the Shema and V'ahavta, which you can find on the back of your Shabbat leaflet. It's inspired by this week's Torah portion, of course, and it has a beautiful composition by Debbie Friedman, Al Nershat Love. Eloheinu
just as it was proclaimed at Sinai. Thank you. Well, Sadie, I don't know if you're aware, but this is a first for me, too. I have had the pleasure with Rabbi Sandy of participating in the services of the B'nai Mitzvah of our children, of our grandchildren, one to come, but never have we had the privilege of witnessing and participating in the Bat Mitzvah of the child of a colleague. So this is a first for us, and when you say Shehecheyanu tomorrow, we'll be joining for the pleasure of the occasion. So with great gratitude, we now turn to raising our cups to toast to Shabbat and to our Bat Mitzvah. We invite Dad, Mark, to join us on the bima. And do you want to chant from over there? Here are the cards. Yeah. So stand here. Mom and Dad will read the prayer, and then you will chant. Here, you can each have a card. We have enough to go around. Let me ask you all to rise. Mom and Dad will read a prayer of introduction on page 116, a reflection on the significance of the Kiddush, and then Sadie will chant on page 119.
The commandment to bless this wine is a commandment to drink life as deeply as we drink from this cup.
It is a commandment to bless life and to love deeply.
It is a commandment to remember with Shabbat heart, to act with Shabbat hands, to see the world with Shabbat eyes.
It is a commandment to laugh until we are all laughter, to sing until we are all song, to dance until we are all dance, and to love until we are all love.
This is the wine that God has commanded us to bless and drink.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kaneshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yon techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'chata v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shar kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinkotanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Bye-bye. The juice.
Yes. Thank you. Or it tastes like it. Wine is not good.
Okay, now we ask Sadie to raise the challah. Do we raise the challah horizontally or vertically? Hold it diagonally, and we will. Evan, you join with the challah. Baruch.
Say it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
And you can pull in compromise.
Make it pretty.
Oh, make it pretty. Yeah, you can do that.
Go ahead, Dev. And the Cohens get to take the challah home.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Family hugs.
Okay.
What you call a Shabbat bubble. I'd like to ask you to remain standing. We continue with Aleinu on page 121.
Thank you.
מתחת עינותיהם ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם בהד
Mourners and those who observe Yortzeit for a loved one, please remain standing as we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 131. As we recite the Kaddish, we affirm our awareness of holiness in our lives and recognize that much of our experience of God's goodness, grace, and love comes to us through those whose lives have touched our own. On this Shabbat, we remember loved ones who have died in recent days and weeks: Ellen Bonnie Kressel, Robert Bournes, Ron Elberger, and Louis Herman. We keep them in our hearts alongside those for whom we mourn and those the anniversary of whose death occurred during the past week, as in loving testimony to the faith that links to generations. Those who mourn and all who remember sanctify God's name in the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'olma divra kir'uteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, בחיי חון וביום חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה, דא אמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May God, the source of peace, grant comfort to all who are bereaved, peace to Israel and to all humanity, and let us say amen. Please be seated. My pleasure to invite the president of our congregation, Todd Maurer, to extend greetings and make some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov, Sadie. You know, Sadie, I know you're over there talking to the rabbi, but I've been coming to a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs, and I can't tell you how many times I've offered to your mother that I could do a duet with her, and she's turned me down. So it's nice to see she's finally said yes to somebody to do a beautiful duet. And we've heard some beautiful voices on this bima over the decades, and only one's come close to being as nice as the cantor's voice, and that was tonight. So Sadie, we really enjoyed your voice, as we always enjoy your mother's voice. I would like to extend our mazel tov to your mom and my seatmate up on the bima here, as well as your dad, Dr. Mark Cohen and Cantor Melissa Cohen, and your younger brother, who did not hesitate to make a few smiling faces at you during the service. Evan, I watched you. You know, one day you'll be up here and she'll be making faces at you. Also, I'd like to extend a mazel tov to your grandparents, Susan Rosenblum and Sandy and Stephen Cohen. I'd like to share a couple of announcements. One is the high holidays, believe it or not, are coming up soon. High holiday packets have been mailed out, and we are instituting a ticket policy for security. So make sure you bring your ticket with you so we make sure we know who's here and we know where to find them. Also, someone here might know something about this, but there's a Mahjong Monday, and if you have questions about it, you should talk to, there you go, raise your hand. A very popular event. Mahjong has been popular in the Jewish tradition for many, many decades, if not hundreds of years, and it's great. All ages are welcome, and come and play Mahjong. We will be playing again Monday, August 15th at 1 p.m. And I say we because I might show up. I do know how to play, although I only play consecutives. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom and remind you that services start tomorrow morning in the sanctuary at 10 a.m. sharp. We look forward to seeing you there. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Isn't it Asian Jews who started Mahjong?
Well, we're very open to all people to play Mahjong.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
We have to start a Pajong. So, in addition to, Sadie was kind of pointing out very discreetly, I should show you so, because I asked her, who is the Panamanian in the family, right? So we share having a Panamanian in the family. I have a Panamanian in my family. I mean, I am the Panamanian in my family. So Dan, what is your connection? Uh-huh. And she still lives there? No. My aunt does. Your aunt does. Where in Panama were you born?
In Panama City.
Panama City.
Canal Zone.
So you were born in the Canal Zone. You're what we used to call Zonians. Ah. So you're an American born in Panama.
Yes.
Ah. That we have a few in our congregation.
In the only hospital that
Gorgas Hospital.
Now Salud.
I'm sorry?
It's now Salud.
That's right. Gorgas Hospital, very famous hospital. It's one of the early centers where they combated yellow fever and because during the construction of the canal. Wonderful. Nice to have you celebrate. ¿Hablas español? Un poquito. Okay. When you yell at him and you compromise in Spanish.
my grandmother yells at him, does he understand?
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to extend also a warm welcome to the parents of Rabbi Halshevitz, Harvey and Pam, who are visiting for the weekend, and delighted to have you. I'm sure it'll be the first of many visits, and we look forward to many simchas in the life of the family. Evan, how many years till your bar mitzvah? 3. Okay. Do you have the date already?
We do.
Okay. Mazel tov. If you watch carefully tonight and tomorrow, we can skip a rehearsal.
Rabbi, I forgot to mention something, if I may.
What's that?
I didn't know if you know this, but we are in the presence of 2 Indiana living legends.
We are.
Yes. One is our visiting author and her very esteemed husband. So we want to make sure we congratulate you both on Indiana living legends.
Thank you very much. Very grateful, very humbled. Thank you all for joining us for services tonight. 10 o'clock tomorrow in the sanctuary. Sadie will lead us in prayer from the very beginning of the service, as beautifully as she has done tonight. We will close the service this evening singing a song for peace, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, that you may join with the cantor, and the words are printed in the back of your Shabbat leaflet. Any special instructions, cantor?
You know, just sing with me.
Okay. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Peace shall yet come.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam.
Yavo Shalom Aleinu.
O Shabbat Shalom Aleinu ve'alam. O Shabbat Shalom Aleinu. O Shabbat Shalom Aleinu. O Shabbat Shalom Aleinu. Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to say thanks to Shari Lip-Levine for keeping us organized, to Tori Irving for keeping us connected with the live stream, and to all who have joined us by live stream. Shabbat Shalom to all of you, a Shabbat of Shalom and compromise. Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov.